Which one to do first? Which one do we want to do first?
You want to just go in order, do 17 first?
Yeah, we'll do 17 first.
Yeah, okay. Because alcohol would be good.
All right, good afternoon, colleagues. I know it's been a very long and arduous day. My vice chair is cranky, so we're going to try and move through this as fast as we can. Let's start with voting list number 17, please.
House Bill 1241 authorizes the Executive Director of the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Cannabis Commission to seize electronic smoking devices that are sold or offered for sale in violation of statute without a warrant. There are two sets of amendments in your packet. The first set, amendment number 1, is technical. The second amendment strikes language in the bill related to other tobacco products, strikes provisions in the bill that would have established an electronic smoking devices wholesaler license, and authorizes a peace officer to seize certain products without a warrant.
Move the amendment.
Go ahead.
Yep. There is a second amendment in your packet from Delegate Rogers that requires an electronic smoking device license to sell ESD products, and for existing cigarette and OTP licensees, they may continue to sell ESDs until their current license expires.
I'm sorry, who put this amendment in?
This is Delegate Rogers' amendment.
Okay, this is a different bill, right? Roger, you trying to amend your bill on something else?
Just one provision, we worked it out with stakeholders.
No, I'm just noticing because it's a different posture than I thought it was. So I guess we should move the first set of amendments and then talk about the next set. Because again, this is one of those ones, your bill had a hearing, right? And what happened? Did move in the House or Senate, right? Yeah, all right, we need to talk about this. All right, let's go ahead and move these first amendments, please.
Move the first set of first amendments.
On the first set of amendments, is there any discussion? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. All right, so now please explain the second set of amendments.
All right, the second set of amendments require an electronic smoking device license to sell ESD products.
So this is the big tobacco one we keep talking about, right? This is the bill that I'd asked you before. It's fine. And it seemed like it was something that the only people that actually had these licenses that you were discussing or describing were the big tobacco industry. I just want to make sure, is this the same bill?
It's just a carve-out portion of that. So what we did, we got with ATC, we got with all the stakeholders.
Who are the stakeholders? Because that's what I want to know, because.
So it was ATC, OAG.
And put your mic.
It was the ATCC, so we work with them. It was the OAG. It was who else was on that? I know it was those were the two primary ones. And Senator Biden was on that.
Those the big stakeholders right there? What about any of the businesses?
Well, and so they had been coordinating with some of the actual.
Who has?
The stakeholders, the ATCC.
Well, I think
and
I forgot what's the dude with the butt chin? No, Garrett Yola. Have you talked to Garrett Rod? Because I know there are people that represent the the industry, and I don't believe that they were made privy to this.
So we talked to Funk and Bowl.
Yeah, but what about?
We talked to.
That's the industry.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to the folks that are representing the industry, Mr. Chair.
I'm just saying, this you guys kind of sprung this on me. I'm not real happy because, as you know, this is not your bill is not my favorite bill, and I appreciate your bravery to try to sneak it in the back door and have her read it real fast. But we can either, you know what, since Amber's colluding with you, we're gonna hold this bill. Find out what's going on.
It's the huh?
We had a bill. I thought we had a bill, but it sounds like you and you agreed to the changes.
If the amendments are going to change the bill.
Oh no, you already put your heart out there on this. You wear it in front of your chest. We'll figure it out. Okay. And does your bill have a cross file?
Yeah, the cross file is doing the same
That's
thing.
the one
It's Biden's bill.
It's on this list.
Oh wait, and y'all did both of them, huh? All right. Well, Let's keep moving. Next bill, please.
The next bill is House Bill 1364, which transfers the administration of the Community Reinvestment and Repair Fund from the Comptroller to the Office of Social Equity. The amendments in your package strike language that would have established an advisory board, strikes language that would have transferred administration of the fund from the Comptroller to the Office of Social Equity, and prohibits a county and strikes the language that would have prohibited a county from using a third party for administration of the fund.
No, is it on this list?
Yes, it is.
Okay. On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. On the bill.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, is there any discussion? Roll call. Mr. Vice Chair.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison? Yes. Delegate Boafo? Aye. Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Charkoudian? Yes. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski? Aye. Delegate Fennell? Aye. Delegate Turner? Aye. Delegate Valderrama? Yes. Delegate Chi? Aye. Delegate Frazier-Dago? Aye. Delegate Adams? No. Delegate Ernst? No. Delegate Pippi is excused. Delegate Johnson? Aye. Delegate Rogers? Yes. Delegate Ampry? You still pouting? Are you pouting?
Aye.
Oh. Delegate Weibel? No. Delegate Fisher? No. Delegate Queen is excused. All right, bill moves as amended. Next bill, please.
The next bill is House Bill 1408, which prohibits an employer of a fire and rescue public safety employee on the basis of the employee's possession of a valid written certification for medical cannabis or a positive test for cannabis components or metabolites while holding a valid certification card from disciplining, discharging, or otherwise discriminating against the employee. There is an amendment in your package which alters the provisions related to impairment while work. Basically, it says if a fire or rescue public safety employee reports for work while impaired by cannabis, the employer shall report the incident to the State Emergency Medical Services Board.
Move the amendment.
On the amendments, is there any discussion? Hearing none. On the bill.
Move the bill as
Delegate, I apologize. Delegate Adams on the bill or on the amendments?
On the bill.
Okay.
move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? Delegate Adams.
This is my Class A CDL. It's a federal license. State of Maryland can do any number of things, but you're literally allowing people to get on trucks and drive with a moral justification of using cannabis. And I have to oppose that.
Let me ask you this. So does your class, your CDL, does it have restrictions on it, such as cannabis use or anything of that nature?
On the back of my license, driving in Maryland implies consent to chemical testing for intoxication as required by law. Longer license suspensions may result from refusal to be tested.
So I just want everybody to hear what we're doing. It's very similar to when they were trying to push this for people to be able to get a gun, a license to wear a carry. And it was that AT 44 that people were going to sign that almost pledged that you did not use drugs, and it would highlighted including marijuana, even if it's illegal in your state. This is something we're doing very similar. It's not really, I don't think it's a great idea, but this is something we're doing very similar. So people that drive these fire trucks have to have a CDL.
That's right. And not only that, think about it through the lens of they show up at a emergency scene, they've got equipment, they've got their friends and colleagues that are fighting fires, and you just can't have that scenario where somebody's under the influence.
Well, I would ask a question for counsel even more, because by having a CDL, you're required to submit upon request to a test, or you immediately lose your CDL. How does this jive with that bill, with that law?
I'm not sure about the CDL provisions, but here it is, you are prohibiting a fire and rescue public safety, well, with the amendments, prohibiting a fire and public safety employee from using medical cannabis while on duty, and then if you basically show up to work while impaired, they have to report you to the State Emergency Medical Services Board.
I think that's kind of, I'm sure they could also just fire you. So it's kind of weird that was put in. I didn't really understand that either. David.
Thank you. What is the current policy when it just comes to straight alcohol.
It doesn't, I don't think they're precluded by any agreement or any hiring agreement that they cannot drink. They just can't show up.
Right, so is it putting it kind of in the same posture?
If we
as-
could test it, sure.
Yeah, I think the difference is there's a breathalyzer versus.
Exactly.
That you could test immediately versus, yeah.
Exactly. And so that's where we've always been stuck at. You know, this bill's on this list. It's not one of my favorite bills. My vice chair bullied it on. I don't really see how it's a good idea. Well, you've been pressing this for a while. This ain't you?
It was Aaron's.
Okay, it was Aaron's, my bad. So my thing is, I just, and again, we can vote it and we can see where it sticks, but I personally, all right, Waffle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So let's take a step back here. What we did a few years ago in this committee, in this House, is that we allowed medical cannabis to be used, which is great. It's fine and dandy. And we did that because we realized that opioids especially were addictive for a lot of folks. And firefighters who put their lives on the line every single day are using these very addictive materials, opiates, and coming to work. Now, if you show up to work impaired, you're gonna get fired. You're gonna go through that process. And it's up to a supervisor to kind of judge impairment. This doesn't change any of that. What we're essentially saying is a market that we created should be allowed for firefighters to use it off duty. It's less addictive for them, and it helps with some of the ailments that they're going through. So I know that there's this narrative out there about we're trying to get firefighters to ride around on a truck high, but that's not the case. Also, let's take another step back. When it comes to the opiates that they're currently using, you can't actually test for that in the moment anyway. You could show up to work high on opiates, and we wouldn't know. It's up to a supervisor to kind of judge impairment in that way. This is not about getting, and let's also take another step back. In my county, in Prince George's County, over the last decade, there've been 2 infractions of someone actually showing up to work under the influence of either alcohol or or any type of marijuana. So this is not a thing that we're trying to just, we're trying to ensure that firefighters have the opportunity, like anybody else, to use medical marijuana to heal ailments off work. That's really what this is about.
Does that, I guess this is where the trivial part, it's not the non-trivial part, I guess, is because I believe the ease of getting a prescription for marijuana or a marijuana card, unlike opioids, at least you have to go to a doctor, a legitimate doctor, not one that posts on the side of the road in the grass in the median to get a prescription. So I understand your point. I just see, unfortunately, medical marijuana cards are very, and you're not even, unless this bill says that the marijuana is prescribed by a doctor, or is it just having a medical marijuana card?
It's having a medical marijuana card, but, Mr. Chair, as you know, when we passed recreational cannabis, for those who just want to smoke weed, no one has to necessarily get a medical card. In fact, to get a medical card, you still have to visit a doctor. And I know there's some perceptions about what that doctor, how easy it is to get that license, but if you're trying to talk about the bad actors in the market who are just trying to get high and be at work, this is not what this is about. This is not what this is tackling at all.
I don't think anybody's saying that at all. I think they can get high on their own and come in later. I don't think that's what people are saying, but Steve.
Just briefly, on my CDL, if I get stopped and they test me for marijuana, will I lose my CDL?
What? To drive their trucks? Yeah.
Probably because CDL's covered by federal.
Yeah, of course.
Can you-
Federal law.
I guess the thing is,
Refusal, you immediately
I
are
know,
suspended.
but if I have a medical prescription for marijuana, will I still lose my CDL?
Yes.
Well, then, I don't know how we can vote for
I
this.
don't either. Okay, I'm trying to get it, but go
I
ahead.
agree with, I understand we did something a couple of years ago. I don't think we thought this far down the road. Then I can't vote for
Just
it.
real quick, I just want to clarify. I know we've talked about CDLs. I honestly don't know. Is a CDL required for a firefighter?
Fire truck?
No, they're exempt.
It's insane.
So I didn't think so. Okay.
Yeah.
I think they learned with the academy, they've been on the road, so it is not. CDL is not required.
It's not. Yeah.
I believe you. Yep, I believe you.
They're very unique trucks, I think they get trained on those trucks, so then.
Sure. Delegate Weibel.
Yeah, so when we had our House bill hearing, MACO, MML, the 2 largest entities this would affect the most, didn't weigh in. Did they weigh in on the Senate bill hearing, do we know? Mako or MML? No.
One favorable with amendment from a constituent, one unfavorable on the House side from a constituent, and then another organization favorable with amendment
And
on the
you've had
Senate
no
side.
conversation with either one of those?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead, bud.
A non-CDL says the same thing on the back of it that it says on the CDL, which the driving in Maryland implies consent to chemical testing for intoxication is required by law. Longer license suspensions may result from refusal to be tested. So my point remains, and I'm surprised that firefighters don't need CDLs because those are big pieces of equipment, but my point remains. It's federal. I mean, I don't know, is it a Schedule 1 or a Class 1 narcotic? I mean, if federally, this is still legal. And these licenses, yeah. All right.
You know what? Let's
Withdraw my motion. That's favorable.
you know, hold it. This is gonna be a mess before we get to talk about this. So we'll hold it. All right, next bill, please.
Senate Bill 51 alters requirements for an individual licensed as a certified public accountant in another state to provide services in Maryland. It is the Senate cross-file to House Bill 887.
Second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor of this bill going forward, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, all present voted in favor of the bill moving forward. We have
Rose.
Delegate Rose.
That's here? Where is he?
He's not here.
Oh.
We have Rose, Howard.
Pippi? Queen. There's Seth.
Yeah, he's here.
Legalizing weed, you're favorable.
We got you as a favorable on the weed thing. Bill passes. Next bill, please. Wait, we're holding this bill for one more day. 306. Oh, boy, we're gonna get it eventually.
Killing it.
Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 529 requires an applicant for licensure as a professional
Move
entity.
favorable.
This bill is, the motion is favorable. Is there any discussion? All in favor of this bill moving forward, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, all present voted in favor. Delegate Rose, Delegate Pippi, and Delegate Queen are excused. Next bill, please.
Next bill is Senate Bill 561, which establishes that non-escheat capital credits held by an electric co-op may not be presumed to be abandoned property and authorizes the use of non-escheat capital credits only for specified purposes. There is an amendment in your packet that clarifies that the accumulation of those credits can only start it from the date of the cooperative's incorporation in the state.
Move the amendment.
On the amendment, is there any discussion? Hearing none.
Aye. Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, is there any discussion? Okay, do a roll call. Do I need a roll call on this, Steve?
They're definitely good on that.
No, you guys are good on this one. All in favor of this bill moving favorable as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. All present voted in favor. Delegate Rose, Delegate Queen, and Delegate Pippi are excused. Next bill, please.
We got a whole.
We're holding this one again. 586. Next bill, please.
All right, the next bill is Senate Bill 834, which is, this was the bill we heard the other day about the vehicle laws and the prices listed on dealer websites. It establishes that a manufacturer, distributor, or factory branch may require all dealers to include freight or dealer processing charges in the price.
Oh, no.
Not on this bill.
I'm sorry, council, keep going.
We like it, but you know where I stand on it.
May require.
All right, guys, keep it going. We're almost done.
may require all dealers to include freight or dealer processing charges in the prices listed on dealer's website, and may not take an adverse action against a dealer for disclosing on the dealer's website that the advertised price of a vehicle is the manufacturer's minimum allowable advertised price.
Move favorable.
Yep.
No.
Delegate, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Howard.
No.
Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier Aldago.
Aye.
Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippi. He is excused, apologize. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Yes. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Weigel. Delegate Fisher. No. The Queen is excused. 12, right?
You want to stop for a bit?
Huh?
You want to stop?
No, you got it. I'm not voting for this, so it's got 12. Does it?
It's 13.
Does it? No.
It doesn't only need 12.
Didn't make it?
Total people on committee?
Where's Bob? I'm gonna call.
Brief indulgence. Senate, did they agree to?
No. They were included in with his amendments.
Oh, boy. All right, so we'll hold them for a fix, so Pam's listening.
842.
All right, 842 is a hold for now. Next bill, please.
Next bill is Senate Bill 844, which requires a self-service storage facility operator to provide an occupant a notice that includes certain information prior to conducting a lien sale.
Only you want to hear the bill again, Andre.
Not yet.
The motion is favorable. I feel like we've done this already, but is there any opposition to this bill, Steve? No opposition. All right. The motion is favorable. All in favor say aye. Aye. Is there any opposed? Hearing none, all present voted favorable except for Delegate Queen, who was excused, Delegate Pippy, who was excused, and Delegate Rose, who was excused. Next bill, please.
The next bill is Senate Bill 894, which is the cross-file to House Bill 1364 that you guys just voted on. Thank you. No amendments.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Motion is favorable. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Is there any opposition? All right, we'll do a roll call. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. No. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Aye. Delegate Fennell. Aye. Delegate Turner.
Aye.
Delegate Valderrama.
Yes.
Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier-Dago.
Aye.
Delegate Adams. No. Delegate Ernst. No. Delegate Pippy is excused. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Yes. Delegate Ampry. Yes. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. No. Delegate Queen is excused.
That made the beach.
No, we're good. We're good.
It survived.
Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 901. We are secondary to ENT on this bill. This is the producer responsibility bill that establishes an extended producer responsibility program for packaging and paper products. The bill requires producers of covered materials to individually or through the producer responsibility organization submit a plan to the Department of the Environment. It allows the producer responsibility organization to collect fees. It allows service providers to seek reimbursement from the producer responsibility organizations, and provides for oversight and enforcement of the program by the Maryland Department of the Environment. There were amendments sent out to you that alter and clarify definitions, adds language to ensure the bill would not preclude a bottle deposit program, requires the annual registration fee to cover as necessary the costs of developing and implementing program regulations, and clarifies that a plan's methodology for reimbursement rates for covered services for covered materials is exclusive of exempt producers.
Move the amendments.
On the amendments, any discussion?
Aye.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, hearing none. On the bill.
Bill is amended.
Bill is amended. Any discussion? What was the vote in the ENT? I'm sorry, Steve, you guys already know where you're going on this?
18-4.
I know.
18-4.
So it's 18-4 in ENT. That's a weird split.
18-4, one was excused. Jacobs, Otto, Iraqi, and Baker.
Okay. All right, it was a split vote. We're going to go ahead and, we'll do a roll call. Mr. Vice Chair, Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard, Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose is excused, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner.
Explain the not vote.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you have to vote first. Oh, I got to vote first. Okay, because the amendments was from who? Who put the amendments on?
ENT did. It's the amendments that ENT worked on. We're secondary on this bill.
Okay, and so they passed the amendments.
They passed the bill with the amendments.
Okay. Well, I want to pass the bill, so I'm not too good about the amendments.
No, they're good. They're good. Delegate Valderrama? Yes. Delegate Chi?
Aye.
Delegate Frazier-Dago? Aye. Delegate Adams? No. Delegate Ernst? No. Delegate Pippy is excused. Delegate Johnson? Delegate Rogers? Yes. Delegate Ampry? Yes. Delegate Weibel? No. Delegate Fisher? No. Delegate Queen is excused. Next. Okay, we have to.
We're gonna hold this one, Mr. Chair.
All right. Hold this bill. What are we holding it for?
That was the one that.
Oh, the floor fight. Yeah, okay.
Nice. So now we're moving to okay.
All right, now this hopefully will be a little quicker. We're gonna move to alcohol. Voting Voting list number 18, please.
Hey, what are the two?
Do you need me to stay? I'm not gonna leave.
You okay?
Yeah.
Which ones are?
I'll take it. Want to hit me? Thank you. All right, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
hold on, guys. We're almost done.
Mr. Chair, I want to move favorable as a consent calendar, vote list number 18, with the exception of Senate Bill 662 and Senate Bill 972, as they have amendments.
We're pulling, the motion is a consent calendar on the calendar number 18, except for 662 and 972. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All present voted for moving this as a consent calendar favorable. Next.
It was
Held.
We held it.
All right.
Were there any unfavorables in the other bills? Do we know that? I don't think there
Oh,
were.
these are all, yeah, the alcohol bills? No.
They were all, okay.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't set you up like that. Okay. All right, Senate Bill 662.
Senate Bill 662 authorizes the Board of License Commissioners to issue a license in or approve of the transfer of a license to a location in the 46th Alcoholic District if the license holder has a support from a place of worship. There are two amendments in your packet. Amendment number 1 is technical. Amendment number 2 authorizes the board to provide a certain waiver, expands application for a memorandum of understanding, and adds a sunset.
Move the amendment.
On amendments in discussion, all in favor say aye. Hearing none. On the bill as amended.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. All present voted for the bill, except for Delegate Queen, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Rose. Next bill, please.
Adams.
And Adams, thank you. Thank you, good eye. Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 972, as amended, increases from 3 to 5 the number of members of the Anne Arundel County Board of License Commissioners that the governor must appoint, alters the appointment process and eligibility requirements for board members, and alters penalties. There's an amendment that alters some of the membership and appointment requirements in the bill and removes the fines that were originally in the bill.
Move the amendment.
Motion moving the amendment. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. On the bill as amended.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All present voted for moving the bill, except for Delegate Queen, Delegate Pippy, and Delegate Adams, and Delegate Rose. All right. And we have concurrences. We're almost done, guys. Hold tight.
All of them are concur, right?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
All right, the first one is House Bill 15, which is the Corporations and Associations, Limited Worker Cooperative Associations, Authorization Maryland Limited Worker Cooperative Association Act, that you heard this morning. The Senate amendment is technical. It just strikes one place in the bill. They put may instead of shall, and it strikes may and substitute shall.
Move to concur.
The next bill is the concurrences for House Bill 1018, Financial Institutions, Conventional Home Mortgage Loans, Assumption and Required Disclosures.
Vote. The vote to concur. Vote. There we voted.
Oh.
All in favor of the concurrence, say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. All present vote in concurrence. Next bill, please. Sorry.
Is now House Bill 1018. The Senate amendments just conform the House bill to the Senate bill as this committee passed it.
Move to concur.
Motions concur.
So we just did the concurrence for House Bill 15.
18.
No.
Okay.
Next bill is, what was that? I'm sorry, what
I
was
just want to make sure.
We just did
procedurally.
1018.
Yeah, now we're going to do 13.
Nope, we have to vote for it.
Aye.
All in favor of the concurrence, say aye.
Aye.
In favor, hearing none. Motion to concur is a move. Keep going.
The next bill is House Bill 1335, Caroline County Alcoholic Beverages Rules, Special Event Venue License and Multiple Event Licenses. The Senate amendments to the House bill just conform it to the Senate bill.
Move to concur.
Motion to concur. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All present voted to concur.
The next one is concurrence for House Bill 1516, Financial Institutions Consumer Credit Application of Licensing Requirements, Maryland Secondary Market Stability Act of 2025. The Senate amendments to the House bill just conform it to the Senate bill as this committee voted out.
So, yeah, move to concur.
Motion to concur.
The amendment we put on in here. Yep, move to concur.
Okay. All in favor of the concurrence, say aye. Aye. Hearing no opposition, all present voted and concurred. All right, colleagues, please, any possible floor leaders, which we have to go back and look through, just be looking at your emails. We'll get the stuff out too, and of course, Joe will reach out by text and let you know if you're a floor leader for these bills. Expect a long session tomorrow. I don't think we're going to do two, but just be ready. We'll probably be voting every day. Okay? Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.